The version of Claude I'm using right now isn't the same as the one most people are using, and the difference comes down to a handful of hidden settings. There are 5 features tucked away in the settings menu that most users never touch, and once you turn them on, Claude becomes dramatically more capable. In this video, I'm going to walk you through each of them, and the final one honestly feels like something out of the future. Let's start with memory, because this is one of the most important features, and it's turned off by default. Claude actually has a full memory system, but a lot of people don't even realize it exists. To enable it, go to your profile in the bottom left corner, open Settings, then head into the Capabilities section. You'll see an option called Generate Memory from Chat History. Turn that on. What this does is allow Claude to remember things about you across conversations. So if you tell it that you prefer short paragraphs instead of bullet points, or that you want all code examples in Python, it will remember that and apply it automatically in the future. You don't have to repeat yourself every time you start a new chat. The memory system actually works on 3 different levels. First, there's conversation memory, which applies within a single chat. Then there's project memory, which carries across all chats inside a specific project. And finally, there's global memory, which follows you everywhere across Claude. If you want to set up project-specific memory, you can create a new project and add instructions in the description. For example, you might write something like, all content should be in first person, under 300 words, and avoid bullet points. Once that's saved, every conversation inside that project follows those rules automatically. And if you ever want to change it, you can just edit the project description or update it directly in chat. Global memory works similarly, but on a broader scale. Anything Claude learns about you can carry forward into future conversations. And importantly, it's not hidden. You can go into Settings, open the Memory section, and see exactly what Claude has stored. You can delete anything outdated or incorrect, or even add new instructions manually. For example, if you don't like how Claude formats responses, you can explicitly tell it something like, never use headers in short responses, and it will apply that everywhere immediately. Now, memory helps Claude understand you. But it doesn't fully control how it writes. That's where styles come in. Claude has a default writing style, and while it can adapt over time, it's not always consistent. If you want precise control from the start, you can create custom styles. Hover over the Use Style option and select Create and Edit Styles. The fastest way to do this is by pasting in examples of your own writing, emails, posts, drafts, anything that reflects your voice. Claude analyzes those and builds a style profile based on your tone, structure, and word choice. Alternatively, you can just describe the style you want, and it will generate one for you. You can create multiple styles for different purposes. Maybe one is casual and punchy for social media, another is polished and professional for client communication, and another is more detailed for internal documentation. Once you select a style, every response automatically matches it. If you compare outputs side by side, the difference is obvious. The default version might sound fine, but the styled version actually sounds like you. Different rhythm, different phrasing, and a more natural feel. So now Claude remembers who you are and writes how you want, but everything so far has been text. The next feature goes beyond that. Artifacts allow Claude to build interactive tools directly inside the chat. Instead of just giving you text, it can create things you can actually use, like calculators, dashboards, planners, or even small apps. To enable this, go to Settings, open Capabilities, scroll to the Visual section, and turn on Artifacts. Once enabled, you'll also notice an Artifacts tab in the sidebar. That section contains pre-built tools you can launch instantly, things like writing editors or brainstorming tools. But the real power comes from creating your own. You can type something like, build me a weekly content calendar with drag and drop functionality, and Claude will generate it right there. You can interact with it, update it, and refine it, all within the same conversation. And these aren't locked inside Claude. You can download them as files like HTML and use them elsewhere. If you want changes, you just describe them. and Claude updates the tool in real time. Now, while artifacts help you build things, most of your actual data lives outside Claude, in your email, your files, your calendar. That's where connectors come in. Connectors allow Claude to integrate with tools like Gmail, Google Drive, calendars, and more. To set them up, go to Settings, open the Connectors section, and browse what's available. Once connected, Claude can read emails, check your schedule, pull in documents, and help you act on that information. There's also a plugins section that many users overlook. These plugins add extra capabilities, like viewing and annotating PDFs directly inside the chat. Each plugin comes with its own commands, and you can enable or disable them as needed. Some require the desktop app to install, but once they're set up, they extend what Claude can do in a very practical way. At this point, Claude can remember your preferences, match your writing style, build interactive tools, and connect to your apps. But there's still one limitation. You normally have to be at your computer to use it. That's where the final feature comes in. Dispatch. Dispatch allows you to trigger tasks on your computer remotely using your phone. To enable it, go into Settings, open the Work section, and turn on Dispatch. Here's how it works. You leave your computer on with Claude running. Then, from your phone, you send a task. Claude executes it on your desktop and sends the result back to you. Because it ties into everything else, your memory, connectors, and tools, you can do some surprisingly powerful things. You could retrieve a file from your home computer while you're at work, prepare documents before you arrive at your desk, or even run research tasks while you're away. By the time you sit down, the work is already done. That's the real shift here. Claude stops being something you only use when you're in front of your screen and starts acting more like an assistant that works in the background, wherever you are. Once you turn on these 5 features, the difference isn't subtle. It completely changes how you use Claude.